And so I thought it would be a good idea if we could talk a little bit about it. And so I wanted to first talk about warming up. It's just like any other sport. It's important to be warmed up so there aren't any injuries take place. So typically when we warm up, we pull from one end to the other, as we're doing right here. And this is specifically so we warm up our muscles so no one gets injured, obviously. And this is going across the table. And then what we'll also do is pull back, and this is called a top pull, by the way, which I'll get into shortly. And so we pull back this way to warm up our muscles when we exercise the top pull technique. In addition to that, it's really important to have a good firm grip, and it depends on what style that you employ. And so if a person is a hooker, which means that they're going to go across the table like this, and this would be a good move for Pastor Ryan because I think he said he's like 6'4", weighs 260 pounds, so his strength is, I'm sure, going to be to the inside, because I'm sure very few people can match his strength going to the inside. And so that means he would want a low grip, and he would hook me and go that way. And so once you go ahead and I'm going to have Pastor Ryan demonstrate that move that I just showed him right there. Actually, I'm sure he already knows it. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, you saw that move? So obviously I can feel his strength going on the inside. And there's another one called the top pull, which I learned years ago when I went to the Sacramento Arm Wrestling Club that was held by Brian and Mark Brandon, as well as Eric Wolfell, Dennis Wigner, Dave Malone, several others. And so they taught me instead of hooking, you pull straight back, and they called it putting it in your pocket. They said, Vic, it's as if you're trying to put your hand in your pocket. So pull straight back, as if I'm aiming toward my pocket, and we come down like this. So I'm going to try and employ that move with Pastor Ryan here. So we say ready, go. I just bring over this way, and you finish the move like that. Okay, so that's called top pulling. A few things to be aware of too is arm wrestling has a lot to do with geometry and knowing the angles of a table. A lot of people think that, oh, you just kind of grab hold and go for it, kind of like with the kind of arm wrestling that you would see, like say in a bar room, which is not really a good depiction of arm wrestling, because it really, in my opinion, is a sport, and hopefully it'll become an Olympic sport down the road. And so anyway, so some things that are important, I think, to remember is also where you place your elbow has a lot to do with the direction that you're going. Like, some people like to put their elbow toward the front of the cup, and there usually is a cup that's either square or round right here, and this one is actually all flat because it caters to being able to practice better. And so it has a lot to do with where you're most comfortable. Like Pastor Ryan, as you can see where his elbow is right here, he feels comfortable right there. I like to put my elbow kind of back, because since my move is going straight back, I kind of like to it's almost like sitting in a sitting position, and this is where my strength is, so I pull back this way. Okay, and so also there's something called the finger walk, where when the ref says ready, go, my fingers will slide over Pastor Ryan's hand, and as you can see, if he tries to wrestle, it's really hard to wrestle, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have your hand.
Yeah.
So part of the technique involves pulling him back this way with the top pull, and also taking his fingers at the same time, which makes it real tough to wrestle. And that's what I'm doing here. And basically, if he tries to come back, he's fighting himself.
Yeah.
See how hard it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
No
there.
strength.
Yeah, it's real tough. So and because he's so big and strong, I'm trying to pull him this way, because I know if he gets his shoulder in here, I'm probably done for, because he's so strong. As you can see, I only weigh 154 pounds. And also another move that I've learned over the years. Let's see if we can. Okay, actually, it's just. For example, let's see if we can do it this way. When the ref says ready, go, let's say you get stuck. Let's say you're pulling and no one's going anywhere. If you slide your elbow forward a little bit, you're posting up, which gives you a higher leverage over your opponent, and then you can bring them back more easily. And sometimes if you actually, I don't want to do this left hand so I can show. bit better this way. When you're pulling on someone, say we're going this way, let's say I'm stuck. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to get in what's called a hold position. And because here we have an advantage, you're hoping that eventually your opponent will wear out. And so you have to be patient. Patience has a lot to do with typically who's going to come out on top as far as the outcome of the match. And so there's a couple of choices here. You can either continue to bring him over this way with a top pull, and if not, then this might be an option when you cup your wrist and go forward. And if not, another option would be coming around this way with the wrist like this. So you got about 3 options. So I think those are some of the things that you can do. We're gonna just wrestle a little bit right now. We're gonna see. So I want you guys to kind of get an idea of what this looks like. Okay. Let's see where our referee would, if he could start us off here.